What if I told you that millions of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, but he actually died in 2013? And that's just the beginning of reality's biggest glitch. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you evidence that might prove we're living in parallel universes, or something even stranger. You'll discover memories you have that never actually happened, scientific theories that explain the impossible, and by the end of this video, you'll question everything you thought you knew about reality. But first, let me ask you something. Have you ever been absolutely certain about a fact, only to discover that everyone else remembers it differently? That unsettling feeling you get, that's what we're about to explore. Let's dive in. The Mandela Effect. It's a phenomenon where large groups of people remember events, facts, or details differently from how they actually occurred. But this isn't just bad memory. This is something far more disturbing. Named after Nelson Mandela, because thousands of people vividly remember news coverage of his death in prison during the 1980s. They remember the funeral on TV, the speeches from world leaders, the global mourning. Some even remember writing school reports about it. But here's the thing. Nelson Mandela was released from prison in 1990, became president of South Africa in 1994, and lived until December 5, 2013. I know what you're thinking. People just have bad memories. That's what I thought too, until I discovered that these false memories follow specific patterns. They're not random. They're not personal. They're shared by millions of people who have never met each other. But wait until you see these next examples, because I guarantee at least one of them will shake you to your core. Number 1. The Berenstain Bears. Quick. Close your eyes and picture those famous children's book bears. How do you spell their name? B-E-R-E-N-S-T-E-I-N? Wrong. It's always been Berenstain. S-T-A-I-N. But here's what's crazy. Millions of people, including librarians who cataloged these books, teachers who read them daily, and parents who bought them for decades, all swear it was Berenstain with an E. There are even old TV guides and newspaper listings that seem to show Berenstain. But when you look closer, it's always been Berenstain. Number 2. The movie quote. Say it with me. Luke, I am your father. Except Darth Vader never said that. The actual line is, no, I am your father. This isn't just a misquote. Even James Earl Jones himself has said, Luke, I am your father in interviews. Chris Farley said it on Saturday Night Live. It's been referenced in hundreds of movies and TV shows, but it was never in the original film. Number 3. The Monopoly Man. Close your eyes. Picture the Monopoly Man. Rich Uncle Pennybags, top hat, white mustache, fancy suit, and a monocle over one eye, right? He's never had a monocle, ever, in any version of the game since 1936. People are so certain about this that when Jim Carrey spoofed the Monopoly Man in Ace Ventura, he wore a monocle. The Mandela Effect in action. Number 4. Fruit of the Loom. The underwear brand logo. It has colorful fruit, and behind the fruit there's a cornucopia, right? That brown horn-shaped basket? Nope, there has never been a cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo. Never. But millions remember it so clearly that people have drawn it from memory, created fake vintage ads with it, and even found old trademark applications that reference fruit coming out of a cornucopia for a logo that never had one. Number 5. We are the champions. Sing the ending of the Queen song. We are the champions. What comes next? If you sang Of the World, you're experiencing the Mandela Effect. The studio version doesn't end with Of the World. It just ends. Freddie Mercury did sometimes sing it live, but the original recording? Silent. Number 6. Curious George's Tale. That mischievous little monkey who gets into trouble. He hangs from trees, swings around with his tail, right? He's a monkey. Actually, Curious George has never had a tail. Not in any book, not in any cartoon. Look it up right now. Your childhood memory is lying to you. Number 7. The Lindbergh Baby. Charles Lindbergh's infant son was kidnapped in 1932. It became known as the crime of the century. Many people remember it as one of history's great unsolved mysteries. The baby was never found. Except the baby was found, dead, 2 months after the kidnapping. A man was executed for the crime. This was huge news that dominated headlines for years. Number 8. Objects in mirror. You see it every day when you drive. The warning on your passenger side mirror. It says, objects in mirror may be closer than they appear, right? Look again tomorrow. It's objects in mirror are closer than they appear. No maybe about it, never has been. Number 9. Pikachu's tail. Every kid who grew up with Pokemon knows Pikachu. Yellow mouse, red cheeks, and a tail with a black tip, right? Like his ears? Look at any official image, any Pokemon card, any episode. Pikachu's tail is solid yellow, always has been. Only the tips of his ears are black. Number 10. New Zealand's location. This one breaks people's brains. Pull up a world map. Where's New Zealand in relation to Australia? If you remember it being northeast of Australia, you're experiencing the Mandela Effect. It's southeast, way more south than most people remember. Some people swear it's moved. Now here's where it gets really weird. I surveyed my audience last week. Out of 10,000 responses, 73% experienced at least 5 of these Mandela effects. That's not bad memory, that's a pattern. So what's really happening here? Science has several theories, and each one is more mind-bending than the last. Theory 1. False memory syndrome. Our brains don't work like computers. They don't record perfect copies of events. Instead, every time you remember something, your brain reconstructs that memory. And each reconstruction can introduce tiny errors. But here's the problem with this theory. Why do millions of people make the same errors? Why don't we all remember different wrong versions? If it's random brain glitches, the mistakes should be random too. Theory 2. Confabulation. This is when your brain fills in gaps with what seems logical. Maybe we expect the Monopoly man to have a monocle because that's what rich men in top hats wore in that era. Mr. Peanut has one. So our brain just adds it. But again, this doesn't explain the consistency or why people have such vivid, detailed memories of things that never existed. Some people can describe exactly where the cornucopia was positioned in the Fruit of the Loom logo. That's not gap filling. That's a complete false memory. Theory 3. Parallel universe convergence. Here's where mainstream science meets the fringe. Quantum physicists have proven that particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. This is called superposition. Some theorists propose that entire universes might work the same way. In one universe, it was Berenstain. In another, it's Berenstain. According to this theory, these parallel universes occasionally overlap or merge. And when they do, some people retain memories from their original timeline. Max Tegmark from MIT has calculated that if space is infinite, parallel versions of Earth must exist. The only question is, can they interact? Theory 4. The simulation hypothesis. What if we're living in a simulation? And sometimes it gets updated, like a patch in a video game. Think about it. When developers update a game, they change code, fix bugs, alter reality within that game world. Most NPCs, non-player characters, don't notice. Their memories get updated too. But what if some of us aren't NPCs? What if some human consciousness can't be fully overwritten? We remember version 1.0, even though we're living in version 2.3. Elon Musk believes there's only a 1 in billions chance we're living in base reality. Maybe the Mandela effect is proof he's right. Theory 5. CERN and timeline manipulation. This is where it gets dark. CERN's Large Hadron Collider is the most powerful machine humans have ever built. It smashes particles together at nearly the speed of light, recreating conditions from microseconds after the Big Bang. Some physicists worried it could create micro black holes. Others feared it might tear holes in the fabric of space-time itself. Here's what's interesting. Many Mandela effects were first noticed between 2008 and 2012. Guess when CERN was conducting its most powerful experiments? 2008 to 2012. On July 4th, 2012, CERN announced they'd found the Higgs boson, the God particle. The next day, thousands of people began reporting that reality seemed different. Coincidence? Maybe, but maybe not. Let me share something personal. I used to be a skeptic. I'm trained in science. I believe in facts, evidence, logic. But then I discovered my own Mandela Effect. I distinctly remember watching a movie called Shazam in the 1990s. Sinbad played a genie. I can picture the VHS cover. I remember specific scenes. My sister remembers it too. That movie doesn't exist. Never did. Sinbad never played a genie in any movie. When I realized this, it felt like reality tilted. If my memory of an entire movie could tan false, what else might be wrong? Here's what really keeps me up at night. If the Mandela Effect is real, if reality can change, then nothing is certain. Your memories, your past, your entire life story could be rewritten and you'd never know. Unless you're one of the glitched ones, one of the people who remembers. And if you've experienced even one of the examples I mentioned, then you might be. Think about it. Why do some people remember the old reality while others don't? What makes us different? What if consciousness, true consciousness, exists partially outside our physical reality? What if some part of you spans multiple timelines, multiple universes, multiple versions of reality? What if the Mandela Effect is actually your higher consciousness trying to wake you up to the true nature of existence? In my next video, I'm going to show you how to test if your reality has been altered. Simple experiments you can do right now to check if you're living in the original timeline or if you've been shifted. I'll also reveal the 3 Mandela effects that appeared just last month. Changes so recent that many people haven't noticed yet. If you catch them early, you might be able to document the shift in real time. But I warn you, once you start looking for glitches in reality, you'll find them everywhere. And once you know the truth, you can't unknow it. If you're ready to go deeper down this rabbit hole, hit subscribe and ring the notification bell. Because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see everything. And remember, if reality can change, if memories can be rewritten, if multiple timelines exist, then questioning everything isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. Until next time, question everything.